God made you to be on this earth to be great. And yes, you may be stuck in a little bit of contentment. Yes, you may be stuck in a little bit of a loop. But how hard are you trying to become better? All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is your first time here. You've just found the best damn podcast that you've ever seen, you've ever heard, or maybe today you're even doing both. The reason why I say that, we are on all different platforms from Spotify to YouTube to iTunes to iHeartRadio. The list goes on and on and on. So if you're kind of finding out what platform we're on, just go to one of those platforms, look up Old Guys Still Rock. We're going to be in episode number 169 today, 169. Another monumental stake, I guess you could say, in the ground as we move forward. You're like, what's so big about 169? I've said this a lot of times. So for you first timers here, podcasts usually die after between 5 and 10. So to get this far is a pretty big deal. And you're like, well, how have I never heard about you? Well, another reason is we don't have any paid sponsorships or we don't have any paid advertisements because we like to be raw. We don't like having people tell us what we can do and what we can't say. So again, if this is your first time here, we would love you to watch this episode. But if you really want to check this out, you're more than welcome to put pause right now. Go back and watch 168 episodes to kind of catch you up. You'll find out that I'm very confident saying this is going to be one of the best damn podcasts you've ever seen out of all the things out here without this little kumbaya stuff. So let's get into it today. Again, I am Blair Armstrong of Team Armstrong Coldwell Banker. I'm a global luxury specialist in the world of residential real estate. I'm located out here in the beautiful, beautiful, and super hot and balmy weather of the Coachella Valley. We're going to have a great temperature of 108 with a heat index of probably about 118 today. It is nice and humid. Woke up to about 87 degrees this morning. It was fun. So, country club problems, I know. And anyway, on my left, possibly your right, maybe even dead center, depending on how we edit this out, is my good friend for almost 30 years and the other host of this show, Brent Wright of Brent Wright Incorporated. Man with many different hats over the last 30 years, from detail shops to body shops, financiers to a wellness center located in the heart of Eugene called Wright Wellness Center. He is a multiple property owner, actually even owns a whole block, which we'll get into a little bit as well. One thing that we haven't touched on the last couple of weeks, he is part of a venture capitalist group about a year and a half ago, or I guess we're close to approaching 2 years almost. He has a company called bustedtees.com. So if you are a novelty t-shirt freak and you just love to see different types of t-shirt, go to bustedtees.com, check them out. If they don't have what you like, guess what, man? You can make your own and they will help you through the process. They also do corporate stuff like that. So go check out bustedtees.com if you're even looking for t-shirts or maybe even apparel for your company and go from there. But that was a little short introduction. I don't want to get too long. Your list of accomplishments over the 30 years I've known you are off the charts. For people who don't know him, it is hard to fathom if this guy ever sleeps, but he gets it done. It's on a routine. It's awesome. And I did leave out actually the most important part. Great business coach, great personal coach. And again, you're like, I've never heard of this cat. Why should I use him? Again, 168 other episodes. Take a moment and reach out to him, maybe even after this episode, and have a phone conversation at least, or an email conversation with at least, and see if he is a fit. But a lot of people that we've turned him to that were stuck in a loop have really gotten out of that loop. And it's not just individuals, it's major corporations, people's worth millions of dollars. So, okay, I'm done pumping you up, bro. I am done pumping you up, man. I have a little thank you, Tucker Carlson, for Mango Madness in me. I'm a little fired up now. I was a little laggy today. How are you doing, dude? What's going on in the 541 Eugene area today?
Good. It's supposed to be 92, 93 today, which is unseasonably warm for us. But yeah, it's good. Things are good. Was able to wake up today, was able to drop to my knees and be thankful and grateful, and yeah, just rocking and rolling. So yeah, busted tees. This is kind of like the calm before the storm. We have an organization meeting today to see what our next steps are going forward into the season. Selling season is right around the corner. Most business people would say it's always selling season. Yes, but there are seasons in e-com where people buy things and where people don't buy things. And so we're kind of in that middle ground between tank tops and sweatshirts. So there is a season for it. And so, but yeah, looked at numbers yesterday. We're trending in the right direction. We've made a lot of changes that have been hugely beneficial going into this selling season. So I'm excited to see the results of those labors, the fruits of our labor being put into it. So
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of hurdles, right? A lot of hurdles
yeah.
over the last couple of months with you guys. I mean, typical business. I was just watching Ed Milet had a clip the other day, and you look at Ed Milet and how many lives he's touched. If you don't know Ed Milet, better you should look him up. He should be one of your mentors if you're in the business world or personal
Hundreds of
achievement ones.
thousands.
Hundreds of thousands. I mean, guy's phenomenal. He's super special. He's in the ranks of Tony Robbins, Gary Vee. I mean, you would say that he's not, but he is. But anyway, he was just talking how he woke up, and lost a business deal that he's been working on for a long time. Had to fire an employee, a longtime employee that he truly loved, but they dipped their hand in the cookie jar. Which is, it happens, right? You kind of
Yeah.
build these relationships once in a while, and sometimes people feel entitled a little bit, right? And they took some money from the company.
Yeah.
And as much as you can love a person, that's a non-negotiable, right? We've talked about non-negotiables in the past.
100% non-negotiable.
And what a hard, it's like, well, yeah, we deal with that all the time, but sometimes after years, you start building personal relationships on top of business relationships, and when you have to make that call, it hurts, and it takes a lot of wind out of your sails. And anybody at that level or anybody in the entrepreneurial world, you look at yourself in the mirror, it's like, where did I miss? Right. And it will
Yeah.
kind of lead into today of, are you content being content? Right. And sometimes we get into this moment that we're pressing, and then we just kind of take the foot off the gas. So there's many different ways that we can go with this subject. But you were thinking about this. We talked about this in our meeting a couple weeks ago. When you talked about, are you content being content? What was something that stuck out in your mind? What were you going through at the time, or still going through at this moment? I think that we all kind of get in this very comfort zone. But for you, people like you and I, it's hard to stay there once in a while.
Yeah. So it's called dysfunctional contentment. So I am dysfunctionally content, meaning I am happy with the way things are going, but I'm not happy with the end result. I'm not happy. I'm never happy with the end result. I live very short in my successes and I live very long in my failures. So back to, since we are old guys that still rock, a good movie, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh
right?
yeah, right.
So don't judge me on my successes, judge me on my failures, because there's very few, is what he said. Leonardo DiCaprio said that in the movie. And I would tell you, don't judge me on my successes, judge me on my failures, because there are a lot of them. It's not that there's very few. He actually said, judge me on my losers, because there are very few. But my failures are many, because I'm trying to do more than most. And so I fail more, and it looks like I'm winning more, but it's not. There are a lot of failures along the way. I just celebrated last month 40 years in the automotive industry.
God, no kidding.
Yep. And so
We are old.
yeah. And so with that, I've seen the ebbs and flows and the ups and downs of the economy. And I used to be able to put my finger on it and say, well, in April, we're going to be slow until the 15th of the month, right? This last 3 to 4 years has been unseasonable. And I haven't been able to quite put my finger on what's driving some of these things. Now, we have new things that have come into play. We have social media. We have a lot of conflicts in the world, a lot of things that are different than they were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And so contentment is fleeting in my book. Yes, I am an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. It's something I very much enjoy. I'm content with being an entrepreneur. Am I content with the results every day? No. Am I content with the results every minute? No. I like my consistencies, but those things only make it to where I have a certain box that I fit in, but everything else is potentially standing on the edge of a cliff every single day with every single thing.
So that's, it's such an oxymoron. That's okay. I should be content where I'm at. I guess there's a certain part, right? And there's some stuff that you were just saying about your business, how you can kind of be content, but we have to move forward. Sometimes, I've accomplished what I need to accomplish. I'm okay being here. That can
Mhm.
also be a detriment, right?
Yeah.
It could just be this like, okay, I won this championship. I'm pretty good right now. I'll just stay right here.
Mhm.
I would think but there's also a time being is sometimes you do have to be content of just that moment. You talked about this, about being
Well, you need
present,
to celebrate the moment, right?
celebrate the moment, which you and
But
I
don't
both have a
dwell on
hard
it.
time on it.
Yeah, but don't dwell on it to the point that it creates dysfunction in the other way, right? Like, okay, I could have done this. Like I was content with having so many doors, right? For my rentals.
Mhm.
But would I be content in 5 years if I didn't add any? No. I have to add. I have to keep pushing. I have to take risk. The calculated risk, but I have to take risk. You and I have been talking about a
Yeah.
very large calculated risk over the
It's
last couple of days.
I'm not involved with it. It scared the poop out of me the other day. And I'm like, I don't know, man. My buddy, but if there's anyone that could put their kahunas out on the line, I mean, you could do it, but it's just one of those things. So I would say if I was talking to anybody else, I say, I don't know, brother. It's a funky market. But knowing how you persevere and you try to find different avenues, even though those you're getting roadblocks, you can be content, again, as I said, at that moment, but you're still looking for ways to like, okay, we can do this. I'm content with doing it, but how do we get to the next step? It's a constant pursuit of what's the next level of contentment, maybe. Like, okay, we got this spot. I'm contentment here. I have to pursue forward. I don't want to just kind of stay in this. I want to marinate it for a little bit, but I don't want to stay in here forever.
Well, it goes back to Ed Milet, job not done, right?
Right.
Kobe Bryant, job not done. John Maxwell, job not done. All these people. I mean, John Maxwell has written like 1,000 books. He's in his 80s, late 80s, and he's still on the road, still doing interviews, still trying to push the envelope, still trying to make a difference in this world, right? That's where it comes to me is, yes, I'm content where I'm at, but I'm not done. I'm not finished. I had a subcontractor that was helping us with a deck. And he's like, well, he brings me back there and he's like, well, what do you think? It's not done. He's like, I know, but it looks good, right? I'm 90% done. It's not done.
Yeah.
Why are you even bringing me here if it's not done? Is it validation? Do you need validation? Do you need a attaboy? Do you need a prop? Do you need to feel good about the fact that you're not done? Because I'm not going to give you that.
We've coached people that's okay, right? It's always,
Right.
we talk about this pretty
But
much
you
everybody.
tried your hardest.
You tried your hardest, being, Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last, right?
Yeah.
But hey, I got second place. I just watched a movie the other night called King Arthur.
Hmm.
It's with Mark Wahlberg in it,
Yep.
and they had an opportunity to win the race. If you haven't had a chance to go see this movie, it's on Netflix. It's about 2 years old. Go watch it. It's pretty good. I'm a dog lover. There's a dog that plays a big part in this part of it, but they said something at the end because he was in this thing of where he would get into these long marathon races of tough mudder type of thing, to do hundreds of if not thousands of miles to do this stuff. And they're like, yeah, we got second place. That's a win for me.
That's first loser.
Part of the story, yes, it was a success. But do you stop at that? Okay, you got second place. A lot of us, because the amount of accomplishment that it took to even get second place. Like
Hmm.
I gave it my all. I got second place. I hear golfers at the end of tournaments, I did my best. But there's never a follow up with that. Like I did my best today.
But
I'm going to go work on to figure out how to get to the next level. And I've heard
hmm
that I mean, I'm a golf head. I haven't played a lot of golf lately, but I've heard that a lot. It's like, I gave it all I got today, but there's never a follow up. So to me, when I hear that, because of my friendship with you for 30 years, okay, cool. So how are you going to get first? We've been talking about this is $25 million, right? You know, in sold real estate. We've
hmm
been talking about this for almost a couple of years now. And I may hit $20 million. Okay, cool. It's the best we've ever done, whatever,
hmm
but I'm still not happy. And there, for me, like man behind the box, our great producer Jackson, he's like, "How you doing today?" And I go, "I'm just freaking tired, dude. I'm mentally exhausted trying to get, I picked this. I love everything that I do, but we brought on two other team members to this stuff, and I'm investing in this, and I'm investing in myself. I'm investing in my wife, and it's just a part of me that just wants to just stop. But and then I sit in bed. I'm like, I can't. I've got all this momentum. I've
hmm
done if you look at me on paper, I've done very well so far this year. I'm happy, but it's not the championship. And then if I do win the championship, okay, well that's done. How am I going to go back? And another thing that we talk about for all you first timers here is when we go see our maker, whoever that is to us is Jesus and God. Is he going to say you've done well? You've done well, my good and faithful servant? Or he's like, "Man, you left a lot of meat on that bone."
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel that he keeps people alive just to say, "You're not done yet, man. There's a little bit more in you." And whatever that is, we will never understand. But that's what I just say. But going back to where I started with, I feel like a lot of us are just okay with second place, okay with fourth place, okay with not being the best. And
And that's fine for you, but guys, I'm not competing with you.
yeah,
I'm competing with me.
and that's the hard part, right? Are you being the best with all your capabilities? Have you tapped into every single option? Are you me right now? Just mentally tired and just want to shut it down. I've got this carrot in front of me in the next 10 days to go hang out with my wife for 12 days in Maui. It's our reconnection time. That's going to energize the hell out of me coming into the fourth quarter. But it scares me too because I know that there's so much going on back here. Am I going to be present? Because I know that we have all this momentum right now and I don't want to lose that.
I was talking to a guy the other day and he said, about the issue that I brought up with you. And he said, if money was unlimited, what decision would you make? And I said, well, I believe that money is unlimited. I just haven't figured out how to tap it yet. And he goes, then make a decision and move on and quit dwelling on it.
My brother, I talked to him the other day. He left the timeshare world a while back. If you haven't seen him, there's an episode that we were talking about. He ran for a state seat over in Maui a couple of years ago. And anyway, left that business of the timeshare world, sold his house, made a pretty good amount of money, and moved to North Carolina. I just kind of give you a backstory of that. So I talked to him, and he hasn't done anything for almost a year, nothing,
Mm,
just traveling around. And yesterday's conversation was the first time he goes, kind of getting bored.
hmm
And realistically, he doesn't have to work again, but he knows that he's like, there's only so much traveling I can do. There's only so much different things I feel like I'm getting to the point that I feel that I am not really contributing to what I'm supposed to contribute. And
Excuse me.
bless you.
Thank
And
you.
I looked at him for a while. I'm like, God, that must be really nice. But in the same senses, I would always talk to Chrissy about it. I'm like, I don't know how he's doing it, man. Because sooner or later, you start running out of things to do. You stop contributing, and that contentment could be a massive. I'll use the word cancer
Or detriment.
or detriment
Yeah.
that could just really eat you up. And then you're so used to that routine, you stop pursuing the greatness. You stop pursuing, which we say, pursue greatness and settle on excellence. And so I love that he finally caught that, but I think a lot of us too was let's get to this. I see this around. We talked about this around, and I sit in the country club life. These guys that have made it good, and
Mhm.
all they have left is playing golf every day.
Yeah.
And there's no other conversation you can have with them. Oh, it was on 9 and I hit this shot and, the greens are really bad and da 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 da. I'm like, God, is that all you got? After everything you accomplished, is that all you got?
I've talked about this before. I have a 93-year-old, 94-year-old customer. He's a clinical psychologist. And if you live in or know the size of Eugene, there's not a lot of room for clinical psychology in Eugene.
Right.
You have to go to a bigger city to really, you know, make something of yourself. So he's been driving to Portland 3 to 4 days a week for the last 20 years, and he still does it every week. And I asked him a couple, 3 weeks ago when he was in, because he gets his car washed with us at the detail shop. I asked him when he was in, I said, so somebody asked me this question about 15, 16 years ago and said, when is enough enough? And I said, I'm going to ask you that question because I already know what my answer is. And so he said, if I was just doing this for it to be enough, I would have been done 20 years ago. I'm not doing this for anybody else. I'm doing this for myself. I'm only competing with myself. I'm still not the best clinical psychologist I could be. So I work at it every single day to try and get better. Now, most people at 93, 94 have been dead for 10 years, and he's still going. And I asked him, I said, what drives you? And he said, in not so many words, job not done.
Ah, and I think that you can attest to this with the employees and the guys that you work with, and obviously the center and stuff like that. But yes, I am competing against myself. Yes, I have other people that I look at like I'm going to catch you. I'm in this moment right now as we're building this team, and I took this because I felt like there was. I took building a team not only to expand the brand, but really to help these guys that come onto our team to help them have a lifestyle that they're searching for through the
Yeah.
vehicle of real estate. And so I feel at this time, and maybe you can help me through this. I think that is a part of me right now. And again, I am grateful for all this opportunity. So if this comes out differently, just remember what I just said there. I'm grateful and I do not want to lose this. I don't have the time to be content because I'm trying to instill everything that I have into them to help them get to that. Now, eventually they will drop the leash and run on their own. But the days that I just like, oh, I don't have to do this, or there's days I don't have to show up in the office, or there's days I don't have to make that extra phone call, or there's days that I don't have to read the 10 pages and stuff like that. It's not only a detriment of being content, like, why do I really need to read 10 pages? Why do I really need to make this like I've done pretty well today. I've done this, and that. But what type of example am I setting for my team?
Mhm.
How am I paving that road for them or being alongside with them and then, laying that pavement for their lane, which we always say, stay in your lane. So that part is not only exhausting, but exhilarating at the same time. And so that's my drive. And then, Chrissy will say, well, it's like you're always on the phone or doing some different things like that. And I'm like, can't stop. It's just not done. And I don't know if it ever will. Going back to your 94-year, I don't know when it will ever be done. Somebody asked me
Mhm.
the other day, is like, when do you think you're going to retire? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I ever will get to that point because I love doing what I'm doing so much. And there will be some fun days and there'll be some really hard days. But pouring into other people, helping them in this stuff is my alp, my form
Mhm.
energy, whatever that may be. That's what gets me up in the morning. And you and I both know there's some days it's not easy to get up out of bed or burning it down.
The last time I retired, it lasted 3 days. By the third day, I was bored to tears. And I created this mess that I call life. And I've created multiple businesses since, and I've created multiple opportunities, created 2 kids with my beautiful wife. I could have checked out, could have not had kids, could have not gotten a wife, could have not built all these businesses. Would I be happy? Would I be alive? Is your contentment going to kill you?
That's a good one, right? Go deeper on that.
Yeah, so I had a friend of mine that retired, sort of semi-retired about 8 or 10 years ago, and he found himself sitting at home watching TV, drinking, day drinking all day because he was just mind, body, and spirit bored. And he woke up one day and he said, I'm going to go find something to do and I'm not going to drink today. And it changed the whole trajectory of his life. And I asked him what made the change. And it was something very simple. I would be dead by now if I didn't change. If the change that you are putting off, if you knew it was going to kill you, would you continue to put it off? That's the real question.
Yeah. And, going back to saying this word contentment, we have this going back to your seasonal stuff, right? We were talking about that with busted teas and how it's seasonal stuff. We obviously have people have become very accustomed to say June, July, or excuse me, July, August. There's not a lot going on in the real estate. No one's here. I'm going to take my vacations. I'm going to go mess around for a little bit because there's really nothing going on.
But
I
what if
started,
there is?
what if there is? And so I started going, you know, I never really had this mindset of going on vacations until about 4 years ago. And Chrissy's like, we're going to go to Maui and we're going to do this. And I'm like, I've got so much going on. She goes, I don't care. We're going. It's changed my thought process of just really connecting with it. But that's not the point. I was coming in here, only one in the office, and people would come in and they would ask a certain question, and that certain question would end. So now I'm in this aspect of this as Gordon Gecko. Money never
Mhm.
sleeps, right? Something is always going on. So I would encourage all you realtors that are in the Coachella Valley, keep taking the summer off. Absolutely love that you're taking that time to go ahead and do your vacations and not concentrate on your business. I love it. Thank you for my next commission.
Mhm.
That was massive sarcasm right there. But the point of it is what happens if all these new guys have come up with this because all the season agents have been here. And there was a time that this town was sleepy, but now we have this growing community, a lot of things going on to it. City is no longer sleeping June, July, August, September, October, which is typically the off season for the snowbirds out here. And I'm finding that typically our third and fourth quarters are the strongest. It's because everyone is taking their foot off the gas in the third quarter and
Mhm.
trying to get the momentum back going into the fourth quarter is super hard. And so we tell my guys like, hey, yes, go ahead and take some time, breathe for a little bit, but we're not taking the whole summer off. There's something here every day to do. So that's why I said contentment is it could be trained, right? Well, everyone says it's really, it's not busy out here. Yeah, you may not have anybody coming through your open
Who's
house.
everyone?
Who's everyone? You may not have anybody coming to your open houses for 2 to 3 weeks, but that one person could show up one day. So why aren't you doing open houses every week?
Well, better yet, why not just use it as a practice run, right? So let me use this analogy. Have you ever towed anything very heavy up a hill?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to keep going even slower than it is to stop in the middle of the hill and try and get started again. So, yeah, you might only get 3 people that show up at your open house, but those are 3 conversations that you get to have and get to practice and get to stay sharp on that you wouldn't have gotten. I look at it as 3 opportunities.
Well, separation season too. MLS says that a lot, right?
Mhm.
This is separation season. Everyone is taking the summer off. Everyone's finding these big, long vacations and doing some stuff. And they don't know how much of a detriment that it is realistically to your business. And just
Well
because everyone has done that before you and that, and people kind of tell you the same things, why are you following that?
well, it
And that,
goes back to with our payroll business, everybody takes their foot off the gas from, like, May to
Mhm.
August, September,
Mhm.
right? And what I'm doing in from May to September or May to August is prepping for those people that are gonna make a change in January. "Can I talk to you about your payroll for January 1st?" And they're like, "Well, what do you mean? January's a long ways off." Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
If you were to make a change in your payroll, that could take you anywhere from 30 to 60 days. The time is now. When's the best time to plant a tree? Yesterday.
Mhm.
When's the second best time to plant a tree? today. We have this little tree. We call it the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. When we moved into our ranch, there was this little bitty tree. It was about 2 feet tall. And we've lived there for 10 years this year. You know how tall that tree is? 16 feet tall, 10 years later.
Crazy, right?
And now it's not a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Now it's a full-blown tree with other trees under it supporting this little ecosystem, right? So my point with this analogy, guys, is if you don't grow, if you don't focus on growth, if you don't focus on continuing to try, you won't ever build an ecosystem that will support you.
Yeah.
And you die.
And then what type of example are you being too, right? If you're going to be content just because everyone else is being content, what type of leader are you going to be? And everyone that's watched this podcast, all of our subscribers and followers that do this are the same thing is you guys watch this because you want to know how to become better leaders, better business owners, better husbands, better wives, whatever it may be. So just because someone else is doing that, or you read it, that's like, well, this is the way it's supposed to be. Well, there may be some validity to that. In the same sense as what are you trying to do to find that next level? We talk about getting stuck in a loop, but what are you really doing? God made you to be on this earth to be great. And yes, you may be stuck in a little bit of contentment. Yes, you may be stuck in a little bit of a loop. But how hard are you trying to become better? The loop could last for a couple months. It could last for a couple weeks. It might be last for a year. It might be, you may given yourself excuses. Well, I lost today. We talked about the day. I've tried that before. It doesn't work. So are you just going to stop? Are you going to be contentment for being second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place? No.
Well, we talked about it with Gigi, right?
Yeah.
She got a download to write a book and she was scared to death.
Scared to death.
And she did it, and now she's not scared.
Which helped her because she just sent me a text on yesterday. So all the stuff that we talked about on her podcast about having opportunities for this new business and they're about ready and stuff goes on and on. You can apply this to any part of the business. She thought that she was going to get this position with this company. It didn't happen. They notified that we are not moving in that direction anymore. Thank you for playing by. So months of going through this and going through that. She also prefaced that, thank God for this book because I'm going to reevaluate what's next. How am I going to get through this? I've gotten through a divorce. I've written a book. I've helped my daughter live. So if you go back and watch Gigi Matako said, so she is now into this season and she's going to marinate in it a little bit, what you just said. But I'm going to figure out how to get from being here to the next spot. Even though that this is a hurdle, I'm not going to be content living that like this is going to be my life. And so will have him help me find that road that I'm looking for. But I'm going to persevere through this. I'm going to marinate in understanding what went wrong, where I may have missed the boat a little bit, but I'm going to find it out. And that's the whole point of this whole thing is just like, stop being content of where you're at. Be better. Go find that other championship. Well, Blair, I was a top salesman for 20 years. Great. So what's next for that?
What have you done today?
Blair, you sold $15 million of real estate. You know that you can do that consistently every single year. Yeah, but what's the point of just stopping there? How am I supposed to look at Jackson? How am I supposed to look at Giovanna? How am I supposed to look at David and say there's more? If I just say, hey, we're happy here. It's you have to, we talked about this. It's like we're looking for this, the white horse in the night to come in and save us. At the end of the day, is you're the white horse and you're the knight. So how are you going to go on and help others? How are you going to go help? Realistically, Brett said it the best. How are you going to help yourself? How long
we started this podcast because we weren't content.
We weren't content. We're 169 episodes in because we know that each episode is going to get better. Some episodes do really good. Some episodes don't do so good, but we find like we talk it out. And again, we're really grateful for the man in the box, Jackson. He's really helped us get to this next level. We're a far away from where we really want to be with this podcast and some other things that we want to do. But that was like the next step that we were looking for. And now we have this. And so, okay, how are we going to get our content out better? How are we going to reach more people? How are we going to do some stuff? We could just sit here and talk for 100, 2,000 episodes and just be fine with just a couple of subscribers. And no offense to all of our guys that follow us and subscribers, but we have to get this message out keep you guys not sitting on the couch, watching Oprah, eating bonbons, being okay with just playing golf every day. Contribute. No one else is contributing to help you. We're sitting here contributing every week to help you. Are we the best thing that you ever seen? No, but we're that spark. We are that match underneath your butt to get up and start doing some stuff that you just keep putting off over and over and over again and making excuses for it. And when Brent and I talk about this for your first timers here, it is a catalyst for us. Like, okay, we are talking a bunch of ish, so we better go out and do it. So we're not sitting here just going, a typical motivator with sunshine and rainbows or stuff like this. It's like, it's super easy. Pay me 1995 and we'll help you get there.
So I was talking to my daughter the other night as she's getting ready for bed right before prayer time. And I suggest doing this with every piece of your life, guys. Inspect what you expect. So I asked her, I said, how am I doing as a dad? And we paraphrasing, she said, good, great, better than most. I said, tell me about that. She said, most of my friends from school, their dads sit on the couch and watch sports and drink beer every night. And I said, is that a life that you want to see me live?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, no. I said, so you're okay with me being busy all the time? And she said, yeah, because you're making a difference. Out of the mouth of babes. My daughter's 12 years old. And she would rather see me being busy and being active than parking my butt on the couch and drinking beer every night. It validated my decision 10 years ago to stop drinking.
Yeah.
It validated my decision every day as much as I want to, because I am exhausted at the end of the day, to just sit on the couch and check out. And it's a driver for me, making my kids proud that they have a dad who's active instead of just parking his butt on the couch and watching sports, which I would never do because I hate sports, and drinking beer every night. I mean, my daughter's proud, and that's what I want. I want my kids proud of the activity level that I create every day.
That's the ultimate, right? I mean, you want your wife and your kids to be proud of you, and but you also want to lead by example too. And what that's instilling into them is, no matter what, with all the hardships or whatever stuff, and maybe the kids see this. Kids absorb so much, and they may see things that you don't think that they see, good or bad, right?
Yeah.
But there's also to persevere. And Brent is talking about his kids right now, but it's the same thing for you guys, for the leaders that watch this podcast, and for you guys that want to get better. You're going to be that father figure. You're going to be that mother figure that is going to keep pursuing to inspire others. Well, if they can do it, I can do it too. I'm no longer going to sit on the couch and drink beer all day. I can't find a job. Well, can you? Or you just because you got turned down 4 times since you can't find a job? Or is this your catalyst to become an entrepreneur? Not everybody's cut out to be an entrepreneur, because it's a lot. We jokingly say it's this is not a fun world, but it is so fulfilling. It counterbalances the not fun part. But I mean, going back to this, so maybe have that big brother, that big sister, that mom, that dad type of persona that you have to do everything possible, which we see the other end of what happens in society when you become content. We're talking about people that want to win. We want to talk about people that make a difference. We want to talk about it and understand that no one's coming to say, well, we're talking to you, and maybe that you are associated with one of those people that have just become content and woe is me and live on a crutch for the rest of their life, to inspire them to get out of that contentment and become better. We see a lot of this stuff on, especially, social media, and we see these people that, I'm going to say this, and it's just going to be that living, get mad at people that are living off the government, not having a lifestyle that they deserve, so on and so forth. Well, they've become content. They have bought into the system that if I don't have to do anything, I'll still get paid. Now, part of that is our fault, that because we've been enabled that aspect of life in our world of government. But we're also is we can't let, just because a few have enabled that portion of it to be okay with it. So this is your call to our subscribers and to our followers and out there too, is go be that example. Stop being content. If you're stuck, call Brent. If you're stuck, call me. If one of us don't work, go find a really good business coach. Not the ones that are charging you $19.95 and this quick little easy button on the internet. Find somebody that you look up to, that you want to inspire to. Tell all my guys when you come in here, I'm going to give you as much as I can. I'm going to constantly learn to it. But at the end of the day, is I want you to be better than me. And so what Brent is doing back with his kids, going back to that stuff, and I know that we're going to beat this horse for a little bit, but it is that he's going to do everything in his power for his kids, which we have said many episodes before. He wants to know when Lincoln and Emma grow up that they're going to be a better dad and better mother than April and Brent.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of this. So take that family aspect, which a lot of you guys thrive for. I get that. Take that and go put it onto your neighbor. Go take that and go put it onto your business. Go take that. Maybe you're not an entrepreneur. Take that and become the best entrepreneur in there.
Mm-hmm.
Become the best fry cook that you've ever been, if that's the profession that you chose. Not a bad thing to be a fry cook. Just be the best one and inspire others to come up behind you and do that. What type of dent are you going to put on society that is going to change the trajectory? Not the trajectory. Trajectory. Thank you. To start making the difference. No one else is going to do it. You have to be that guy. You have to be that girl. You have to be that brother. You have to be that sister. We can do it because we're all tired doing it. But if you put a bunch of us together, it gets a little bit easier. Don't say tomorrow. Well, look at yourself in the mirror for 3 minutes. Right now is the day. If you're watching this and you're at work right now, if you're listening to work, just go press pause, go in your bathroom, look in the mirror for 3 minutes and say, right now is I'm going to make that change.
And evaluate if you're happy with what you see in the mirror.
Yeah. Take a piece of paper with you, write it down. Where are you struggling? Why do you feel like you can't get out of it? If you can't figure it out, as I said, call us. We're very easy to find. It was not hard to find Brent or Blair.
So for me, final thoughts, because you're going to ask, figure out where you're content and where you're not. Make the adjustments. Stop being a Richard Cranium. And go make a damn difference.
All right, guys, we are almost, we'd like to keep this right around this time, enough for you to get your 45-minute workout in for you 75 hard people. I was all started by April, by the way. Anyway, you guys, this is it. We are going to get more and more intense over the stuff as we're going to take off the gloves and we're going to get after it because we believe in you guys. We want you to be better. We're going to take our time. We are self-funded on this. This is not making us better or worse. But it's time for us to come together. It's time to start making a difference. Brent always just says, go make a damn difference every single day. Stop being content of where you're at. I don't care how tired you are. I'm freaking tired. Brent's tired. He's running freaking 8 different businesses and trying to, if you knew what he was trying to accomplish right now, you'd be like, what the hell are you doing, bro? In this economy, on top of that.
The economy is an excuse, guys. Quit making excuses. Yeah. Go make a difference.
Say it, man. Say your word.
Just go make a damn difference.
Amen. We love you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for the continued support. You haven't done so, stop. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell, whatever platform you want to it. We're going to get this episode out. But the best thing you could do for us is to share this show. That's how we're going to get more and more people. We're not asking you for your money, but we want to go ahead and spread this. We want people to stop living on their couch and being content of making excuses. Tomorrow's a day. Today is right now. Share this freaking episode and go out and make yourselves a lot better. So that's my soapbox. Love you guys. Until we see each other next week, stay safe, but most of all, God bless. Take care.